said the hip, hop, the hip it to the hip.
Quick recap, Dodgers into the NLCS, Cards and Pirates tonight to determine the other half. In the American League, Tigers and A's winner tomorrow night will get the Red Sox in the ALCS because Boston punched their ticket to the next round last night. We'll show you how they did it. We'll go to the trop for it. And all hands on deck. You've heard the expression. I don't think we've ever seen it quite to this point. Doug man used 9 pitchers. His starter, he's gone in the second.
Well, he said if he's not throwing strikes early, he's not going to last. So he took him right out of that game.
Jeremy Hellickson out. Jamie Wright in. Nobody out. Bases loaded after getting a strikeout. He gets a critical double play.
That was a bend but don't break moment. But look at the heads up by Loney. Once he realized he could not get the runner, he turned and fired to Escobar at short. But great pick. He almost had to act like a first baseman as a shortstop and picked it clean.
Well, that's how you do it. And the Rays dodge a major bullet. 7th inning now. Joel Peralta in. Already the 6th race pitcher of the game against Shane Victorino. 2 outs. Pitch gets in the dirt. Gets away from Jose Lobaton. Not good, Doug.
Now, Lobaton had multiple distractions. Credit the Red Sox for causing havoc. The fake bunt, and look at Ellsbury taking off. He's trying to pay attention to 2 different things. Got distracted, could not block it.
Not too much going on. Game tied at 1. Victorino's still at the plate now. He's going to hit a slow roller to short. Escobar throws on the run, but Victorino beats it for a single, and that gives Ellsbury a chance to score. Here's what Victorino said happened afterwards.
Obviously, when I felt my bat crack and I saw that it wasn't as hard a hit as I thought it was going to be, I said, hey, I better get going. And, Escobar tried to make the play he could have, and, I was able to beat it out.
So that's a critical point. Now 9th inning, Koji Uehara in to close it out. 2 men out. And Evan Longoria so clutch so many times, not this time. He goes down, strike 3. Victorino a kiss goodbye to the fans out there in right field. Red Sox win it 3-1 to advance to the ALCS. Here's Victorino.
You know what? This is what it's all about, though. This is what you set out to do all season. You train for. You go to spring training with your guys, your team, and you get prepared for moments like this.
You don't ever know if you will. It's 12 years for me. I've never been to a league championship series. To have this opportunity, to have it with this group of guys, I couldn't ask for anything more.
From spring training on, I think they've really promoted the character within that group, and they're just gamers. They've got a bunch of gamers over there. And that's what really I felt from the other side. Now, on the other hand, I think our guys were equally as tough. It came down to, once again, we just have had a hard time hitting their pitching staff.
All right, Doug, teams love to win in anything short than the distance of the series, and now the Red Sox have done that. How critical is it for Boston that they get it done in 4? They don't have to go back to Boston for Game 5.
Well, for starters, you can see how their rotation is set up now. They can lay it out exactly how they'd like for the next round, as opposed to the Tigers and A's, who now are beating each other up, have to throw everybody in the kitchen sink to win Game 5. So the rotation is poised, set up right. They can get set, get some rest, sort of deal with the bangs and dings if they need to get a little healthy. But once again, it's how that rotation lays down is going to be at the whim of John Farrell.
All right, so let's now go to the other ALDS, the Tigers. We're hosting a very confident A's group. Remember, the owner of the A's said this series will end in Detroit. We won't have to come back to Oakland for a Game 5. Let's go to Comerica to show why it didn't end there. And this Tigers team perhaps coming in with a shoulder chip. You'll remember the late shouting between Grant Balfour and Victor Martinez. Did it play a part? 5th inning now. A's up 3-0. Dan Straley serving and Johnny Peralta with the 3-run poke. That was huge. We're all even at 3, Doug.
Yeah, well, that power game has escaped the Tigers the entire series, but recognize that pitch right over the middle of the plate. One of those that certainly go over the wall often.
Well, Yoenis Cespedes with a nice try to get it, but he can't do it. Later in the 7th, more power via Cleveland. Another former tribesman, this time Victor Martinez. Home run or not, Doug?
Home run, and they've done this all year. I mean, obviously the controversial question as to when it went out, but I believe that they made the right call. They reviewed it and did what they had to do.
Well, let's hear what they were saying about this after the game.
I mean, I had no doubt that I was going to be able to catch that ball. And looking at the replay after the game, it was heading right for my glove. So I can understand the frustration, especially in the situation of the game.
Now, look, we've seen before they rule a home run. We've seen guys catch balls that are destined to be home runs. Reddick never got the chance. Later in the inning, Austin Jackson, 3 strikeouts on the night, been having a terrible series. He gets a little broken bat bleeder, and that one gives the Tigers the 5-4 lead. So here we go. Scherzer on in the 8th inning. Bases loaded, nobody out. Opponents are 0 for 10 with from 5 strikeouts against Scherzer with the bases loaded. Well, look at that chase there by Reddick.
Yeah, and that's why. And this is also why. 98 miles an hour. I mean, same release point. Looks exactly like the same pitch, except it's not.
So he gets both swinging as well. And then Jackson catches the line drive. Scherzer, sure thing. Gets out of the 8th unscathed. Now we go to the 9th. Joaquin Benoit made it interesting because they come into the inning with a 4-run lead. Now the tying run at the plate in Seth Smith. And he finally goes down swinging. It was close, but the Tigers hang on to get a Game 5 tomorrow.
I won that today. He told Skip I had a couple innings and he needed it. And the way the game unfolded, we needed it. And man, what a game. Our offense picked me up after I gave up the run, and to be able to get out of the bases loaded jam, that's an unbelievable feeling.
This is really a good series. I mean, I'm sure the commissioner's happy it's going 5. So we'll see what happens. We're going back to Oakland and find out what happens.
For Detroit and Jim, there's no choice. There's no decision to be made. Verlander threw a shutout in Game 5 against Oakland last year to get to the ALCS. But for Oakland, it's a little bit different. You've got the veteran in Cologne. He was roughed up a little bit, gave up 3 runs in his first try, Game 1 loss. And then you've got the kid, Sonny Gray, who looked spectacular in a Game 2 win. Goes 8 strong innings, 4 hits, didn't give up a run, and struck out 9. It's a tough decision. Doug, which way should Oakland go here?
No, I don't think it's tough. You go Cologne. You go with the veteran, experienced guy. Look, Cologne doesn't beat himself. He's going to throw strikes. He's going to pound the zone. He's going to hit the corners. You know he's prepared. So I think you start with that, and of course if he struggles or they're just onto his fastball, then you go with Gray where you have nothing to lose, and Gray has pitched well and nothing to lose.
How long is the leash?
Well, long enough that they're in a striking distance with their offense. And look, the A's have, quietly, they have explosive bats. They have some 30 home run guys. They can get back into a ball game. They've shown that. So Cologne has ice water in his veins. He's very good in this situation. If it gets roughed around, you go to Gray. Look, everybody's going to pitch this game. It doesn't matter. They're going to throw the kitchen sink. Every situation is going to be a matchup.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Elimination game for both teams. Now, over in the National League, another elimination game for both. It's the Pirates and the Cardinals. St. Louis is sending Game 1 winner Adam Wainwright back to the mound. He looked fantastic. The Pirates are going to counter with Garrett Cole. So what's the key in this baseball game? What is it?
Well, there's a few keys, and depending on the vantage point, but certainly from the Cardinals' standpoint, they have to figure out how to make sure Alvarez doesn't beat them. That's one aspect, and certainly they've had a lot of trouble with that. And now the Pirates, they have to get after the Cardinals, and one thing is with Adam Wainwright on the mound, you have to get him early. If you don't get him early in the first few innings, you're not going to get him. And, of course, he has the experience. That's a big leg up. He knows these games. He's already proven and pitched an excellent game already in this series. So that is a tall order because even when Wainwright doesn't have his good stuff, he gets better. I saw him, I covered him during the Pirates game this year in Pittsburgh, and he struggled. But guess what? He was still in the game, put his team in a position to win, and their offense is so good that one little opportunity for them to drive in runs, they get it done.
For whatever reason, A.J. Burnett has really struggled in St. Louis, so they'll go with the kid over the veteran there. Like Boston in the American League, the Dodgers have the luxury of sitting back, resting, setting up their rotation. Who will see the Dodgers? Is it the Pirates or is it the Cardinals?
Well, I think the Cardinals have the edge.
All right, so we're doing a little post-game and post-clip discussion here, talk radio version of the OMSR. Welcome to, I am your host, Will, the alternative ESPN Sports Thrill. Just to remind you that my sponsor is the DMCA, Digital Millennium Copyright Act. It covers the fair use, standard, minimal use, and derivatives. So video highlights courtesy to ESPN and Major League Baseball. Everything else to the OMSR. All right, so a lot of things to go over there, including, we'll start off with Tampa Bay not sealing the deal against Boston. They had that one good game yesterday, or this being, I'm thinking from yesterday or the day before, so 2 days ago. Today being Wednesday, so that was your Monday game. It's amazing how baseball provides such poetic justice and redeemability in the sense of Uehara, who is the guy, their, I don't know if he's their closer, technically, or just one of their better relievers. allowed that Game 3 win by Tampa Bay, and then he comes in and pulls it out against Longoria, who had a great hit too in Game 3. So the roles were totally reversed, and that seems to happen in baseball so often, because these guys face each other a lot, and the scenario gets repeated, and the outcome can be so different. All right, so you got 2 Game 4s that went to the respective teams. So you got 2 Game 5s left. And you heard Mr. Glanville talk about that and his thoughts, and he's qualified to speak about it. Speak to that effect. We missed baseball last night. So I'm covering it this morning. And I don't know, Pittsburgh could win it. One in St. Louis, they might do it again. Of course, the pressure of a Game 5, that's a big deal. And then Detroit going to Oakland, so it stands to reason, Oakland's going to win that out. But one of those home teams is not going to win that Game 5. So my question to all you out there in the Tubosphere would be, who do you think it's going to be? And I'd like to just stick with baseball tonight and get their take on things, but here's part of the problem. A lot of these games happening earlier in the day. By the time baseball tonight comes on, the game has been over. However, I may need to rethink that because it's very difficult filming from the game in baseball. Not only does MLB not like it, they haven't liked it in 2 years. They're the reason why I actually do a show all the time now. Many World Series ago, it started coming up. Even with 2-minute or 30-second bit clips, it'd be blocked worldwide except for Japan. Interesting. So that is why what I like to call every clip on the OMSR channel is a show, per se. And I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, to those of you still listening. Talk radio isn't the most fascinating thing unless you're a well-known personality on ESPN, which I am not. And probably will never be. This is just a hobby. It's a pro bono sports show. That's why I adhere to the DMCA. That's why you'll never see, you got a 12-minute timestamp on any of these shows. It's not all sports highlights. I mean, that capability is gone. Even if you couldn't do it with baseball 2 years ago, you could do it with some things, even though the OMSR has never really tried to approach that over 10-minute threshold. Try to keep it to 5 to 8. 9 at most, which I think this one is in that range. Just to indemnify my position. And it kind of is, it's sucky for you, but, some clips are better than none. All right, reminding you of sports and alcohol. Thanks for watching. Reminding you of sports and alcohol. They are joined to the hip, so no silly DUIs while you're out there. Later days and more signature plays.
On and on and on and on and on. The beat don't stop until the break of dawn. I sing it on and on and on and on and on like a hot butter. The pop, give it, pop, the pop, pop. You don't dare stop or come alive, y'all. Give me what you